There is a lot happening in Washington, D.C. this morning. Right now, the vice president, J.D. Vance, has been rushed back to the White House, rushed back to the Situation Room, and we are at an intersection with the Iran conflict right now. There are rumors coming out that the United States has come to a ceasefire agreement. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Sweden. He alluded to that. The president of the United States has canceled all engagements over the weekend, canceling his son's, not attending his son's wedding. There are rumors now coming out that the IRGC has placed a hit on Ivanka Trump, and the president has come to a crossroads with this entire Iran situation. We're going to cover all this in this video, and this is all breaking news as it happens right now. Before we get too far into this, smash the subscribe button and consider joining the channel as a member. I want to show you some footage here that's coming in right now. This is the Vice President, J.D. Vance. Nick Sorter posted this. J.D. Vance has made an unplanned return to the White House. He is being rushed through traffic. I don't know what to believe here. There was apparently a scheduled phone call between the president of the United States and a conference call with all of these Arab nations. I'm presuming members of OPEC, members of that region, the Middle East. They're the ones that's going to be affected. And J.D. Vance was rushed back to the White House to get in on this phone call. I don't know if you rush through traffic like that if a peace deal is being signed. If a peace deal is the ultimate goal, do you need to rush the vice president back? Or is this something that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, the president of the United States, and the Joint Chiefs, and obviously the vice president need to get in on? I will leave that for you to decide. But there was a quick question and answer with the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, in Sweden this morning. He alluded to the fact that there could be major news later today. And I'm going to play that clip for you here and let you see what he said.
Maybe news later today. I don't have news for you at this very moment, but there might be some news a little later today. There may not be. I hope there will be, but I'm not sure yet. The question is about the Iranian issue. And as I said, there's been some progress done, some progress made. Even as I speak to you now, there's some work being done. There is a chance that whether it's later today, tomorrow, in a couple of days, we may have something to say. But this issue needs to be solved, as the president has said, one way or the other. Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. The straits need to be opened without tolls. They need to turn over their enriched uranium. They need to turn over their highly enriched uranium. We need to address that issue. We need to address the issue of enrichment. These are the...
So he continues to have a hard line on the uranium, opening up the Straits of Hormuz without a toll. They can't continue to enrich this uranium, getting these weapons. Secretary of State has been very clear about this. He is in Sweden speaking to members of NATO. You know my opinion on NATO right now. They're not doing a lot to help us. We're a member, probably the most expensive member. But combine this speech here, or these comments by the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, combine that with the urgency of getting the vice president back to the White House. And this really says a lot about what is happening in real time as we speak. We've got more information here. Trump weighs Iran ceasefire extension as Vance rushes back. If the vice president is being rushed back to the White House, Marco Rubio, very clear that we could get something happening today. Do you believe that this is a good sign? I don't know right now, because we have seen the president of the United States posted this on True Social. These are images on True Social showing the red, white, and blue over the country of Iran. I don't know if he is poking the bear. He's calling it the United States of the Middle East. This was at 9:07 a.m. That was about 3 hours ago, prior to recording this video. So is the president poking the bear, so to speak, or is he really trying to show some strength, show some intimidation? There's more reports now that Iran, their leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, that some officials are now running with the idea of removing him as a leader. There is a civil war brewing in Iran. And if that is the case, is that good for negotiations or is that bad for negotiations? If they are considering holding a coup and getting rid of this current Ayatollah, then how does that work out for us negotiating with the IRGC or negotiating with their foreign minister? I believe that this could throw everything into a lot of chaos is what this could happen. And we could very well see some real kinetic strikes happening depending on how this goes. And I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but there's a lot of people that have just had enough of Iran. We have had enough of them continuing to control every negotiation. Some of the problems could be through Pakistan. This is the president. Hopefully we get to some sort of ceasefire resolution. I don't know if that's the case, but there's other problems brewing around the world, up to and including about 90 miles off of our own coast with Cuba. Cuba is seeing the United States military maybe distracted. They're worried about their own sovereignty. Raul Castro, there is a warrant for his arrest, for him to be charged with the 1996 plane being shot down. And if that's the case, what does this do to everything happening in the Middle East?
Meantime, the communist regime in Cuba says it is preparing for war following this week's indictment by the U.S. of Raul Castro. Cuba's deputy foreign minister is calling it a, quote, political action designed to lay the groundwork for an American invasion. And the Cuban government is reportedly handing out pamphlets to citizens titled Family Guide for Protection Against Military Aggression. The text warns that the U.S. is threatening a military assault to, quote, annihilate the dream of Fidel Castro. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says Cuba has consistently posed a threat to the United States.
So you've got this happening in Cuba, 90 miles off the coast of Florida. You have everything unfolding in Washington, D.C. right now with regards to Iran. You have the Strait of Hormuz being closed. You have all of these news agencies around the world saying that either A, it's a really bad deal, B, if Trump negotiates with Iran, he has lost the negotiations, or C, nothing short of airstrikes in Tehran on their facilities is going to resolve this situation. The Middle East is in full-blown chaos, but at the same time, the president's in D.C. working overtime over Memorial Day weekend, trying to get some ceasefire agreed. I don't believe that he wants to launch airstrikes, but it very well he could be forced into this. The Iranians control their own destiny at this point. And at this point, only time will tell. Thanks for watching. Smash a like and subscribe button. Hit the join channel. Join the channel as a member. Get into the Discord server. If you want to go check out a previous video right here, we talk about all of the UFO files that were released over the last couple of days. Is it a distraction? Is it a national security concern? Does it play into what's happening in Iran right now? Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.